Hey people, it's Niles talking. Now this is from CNN. 19 families buy nearly 97 acres of land in Georgia to create a city safe for black people. Welcome to freedom, exclaims real estate agent Ashley Scott as she surveys the nearly 97 acres of land that she and a group of 19 black families purchased in August. I hope it'll be a thriving safe haven for people of color, for black families in particular, Scott says. The land sits just east of Macon in rural Wilkinson County, Georgia. Scott and her friend, investor and entrepreneur Renee Walters didn't initially plan on buying a large plot of land, but they had a vision that was clear: to create a safe space for their black families. Being able to create a community that is thriving, that is safe, that has agriculture and commercial business that are supporting one another, and that dollars circulating in our community, that is our vision. On a safe space. The unrest that took hold of the country earlier after the killings of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor at hands of police and closer to home, the shooting death of Ahmaud Arbery while jogging outside Brunswick, Georgia, prompted the women to search for a new community, one they could start themselves. Watching our people protesting in the streets, while it is important, and I want people to stay out in the streets, bring attention to the injustice of black people. No, I think that's been phrased properly: injustices towards black people. Black people are not committing the injustices. We need to create a space and a place where we could be a village again, a tribe, again, Scott said. We want to create this safe space where we can address our own issues and concerns. The two wanted to launch an initiative that would create a city founded by black families. We both have black husbands, both have black sons, and I was starting to get overwhelmed and have a sense of anxiety when my husband will leave the house to go to work, says Walter. So he was like, okay, what can we do? And once I saw the post of Toonsboro going viral about a town being saying, I was like, oh, this is perfect. Scott and Walters reached out to family and friends to see who might be interested in joining their effort. Together, they created the Freedom Georgia Initiative to spearhead the purchase. They hope to incorporate the land they bought into a new black city called Freedom Georgia, town for sale. The ad Renee Walters saw had been circulating online, publicizing the sale of the town of Toonsboro. The ad eventually went viral. Scott said she got a call when her friend caught wind of the sale. She said, Ashley, do you see the article about Toonsboro for sale? For the price of a small condo, we could buy a whole town for $1.7 million, Scott said. CNN affiliate WGXA reported the website called ToonsboroForSale.com was run by Tim Bumgardner, a developer who owns more than 30 properties around town. It's one of the few places where you can buy a whole town of every kind of building, including a historic inn, syrup mill, opera house, schoolhouse, railroad depot, cotton warehouse, a restaurant, a barber shop, water wheel, a grist mill, a workshop, a filling station, several houses, the ad read. Turns out the town itself wasn't actually for sale. Joyce Denson, the mayor of Toonsboro, made that clear. I've gotten calls from New York, I've got calls from North Carolina, I've got calls from California. Denson says, we welcome business, we want new people to come in. The thing that we want to make sure is that you promote and help to keep the flavor of the community. After Scott and Walters discovered the town itself wasn't up for sale, Scott put on her real estate hat and looked for land in the area. They found acreage for sale just outside Toonsboro in unincorporated Wilkinson County. It was such a beautiful piece of land. It was affordable, and it just made sense that we could create something that would be amazing for our family, said Scott. History of black cooperatives. The combining resources to create a black collective or cooperative economics is not new, especially when it comes to blacks in the United States. We have a very long history of doing cooperative economics, economic cooperation, creating our own communal towns, says Jessica Gordon Nemhard, author of Collective Courage, a history of African American cooperative economic thought and practice, and professor of community justice at John Jay College. More recently, we've been establishing community land trusts, which actually gave official land ownership to the community. Hobson City, Alabama was the state's first all-black city, founded in 1989, after blacks were kicked out of neighboring towns. CNN affiliate WERC reported in June that Hobson City residents celebrated Juneteenth with one simple message: Black towns matter, to celebrate the city's heritage. One of the earliest all-black municipalities was Mount Bayou in the Mississippi Delta. It was established by former slaves after the Civil War. Almost every society that had enslavement also had maroon societies, says Gordon Nemhard. They set up their own community and started farming together, create a town, run the town, work collectively as much as possible, and basically have a secluded space that was totally community controlled and a way to be away from slavery. There's so many former black cities, said Scott. We hope that we can be one of those as well. Scott and Walter say they've gotten questions about why they want to create an all-black city. Their response is something that's been done for generations. It's impossible to have anything exclusively black because our families are integrated, says Scott. We are an integrated, tolerant, diverse community, even as black people, so we don't want intended for it to be exclusively black, but we do intend for it to be pro-black in every way. We're creating a legacy. Scott and Walters plan to develop the land in phases. The first phases involve clearing the land, farming, and creating a man-made lake for sustainable fishing. At a ribbon-cutting ceremony, Scott said while they don't know the exact history of their plot of land, the symbolism of reclaiming this land gave them an opportunity to write their own story. They hope to grow within a few years. By the end of the development plan, they hope to have a fully operational, self-sufficient city, putting Freedom, Georgia on the map. To be able to pass this land down to my children, the children that are represented by each of our 19 families as a piece of legacy, we're hoping to create a legacy. Well, I want to say something. You know, Willie D talked about it, that they should have just kept this quiet, and I agree. But it's already out of the bag. And I personally am very happy about this. I've talked about people doing this for a long time. I said that people need to separate from these cities and create walled-off, isolated communities where they can keep people, like non-blacks and, how do you say, people who aren't good for the black community out. That's good. And now, if these people ever hear me, I say they should set up some kind of online fund where they can receive money. I mean, there's a black-owned payment system called Paymynt, Peymynt, that they could use, possibly. I don't know if it's suited for this, but they could try it. And I hope that they are armed to the teeth, because they will be coming for them. That is for sure. Secondly, actually, I'm well past my second point. Let's go. I personally say that presidency of these communities should not be open to just anyone. And I don't mean to say, oh, as they were saying, oh, it should be open to people of all races. As they said, it won't be just for blacks. But it should be someone where, like, to be allowed to buy a home in the community, everybody who really lives there should be able to vote and vet if those people are suitable, i.e. they're community oriented and have the same values for their community. Because there's a thing that just because someone can buy a home does not mean that they are suited to the community spirit and a good fit. Anyway, I hope this community takes off. Please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. And let's all pray for these people that they can do well. And if we ever find out if they're taking donations, let's hope we can give some. Please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.